Welcome back to the trail. Here we are on the North Cheshire Way. We're not far from Knutsford, and we're just doing a bit of a leg stretcher today. It's bank holiday Monday. Definitely wanted to get out, and it's been raining all weekend, so I haven't really been able to do some of the nicer trails. So this one is a 17.7 mile circular, mostly on the North Cheshire Way. We're starting just near junction 19 of the M6, doing a counterclockwise trail, heading up to some nice view areas, mostly flat, plenty of air traffic above us from the local airport. And yeah, this is, if I was to lump my trails that I make into three categories, the first obviously is going to be multi-day hikes. These are more your national trails and your official long distance trails. After that we've got the nicer trails, which are ones I've made myself, plotted, perhaps to see a landmark or a particular area. They're the ones I reserve for nice weather. And then I've got leg stretchers, which are basically just us getting out on trails that I've made, maybe to see something that isn't on the top of a moorland, or relatively flat, plenty of mileage, and just to get out and stretch the legs, as I say. Weather for today, on and off, going to be mostly dry as far as I'm aware. Chances of rain are like less than a quarter, less than 25%, with chance of sunshine, so it was worth the risk coming out, but I didn't want to waste a really good hike that needs the weather. A bit like Malham Cove last week. Yeah, this brings my holiday week to an end. Be back at work tomorrow. I think we've done about 4 walks. Highlight was Malham Cove. Absolutely beautiful weather, beautiful trail. Go check the video out if you haven't done so already. Right, so 1.5 miles in. What we've just done is mostly road walking. We will finish the trail doing the reverse, road walking back. But yeah, we've got some nice things to look at. Let's get out there. Let's just bash out a few miles there. That's sturdy. One of the downsides to walking at this time of year is that the grass is always going to be wet with dew, so sometimes it is better to set off a little bit later, let the sun, if there is going to be sun, burn it off so that your boots don't get soaked. So we're crossing this vast field on the North Cheshire Way, and it's quite well signposted so far. I've got a new lens cap, so it keeps getting in the way. Dropped the other one on the Frodsham trip, and it's going to keep tapping. Excuse me. Might put that back in my bag. Doesn't look like rain at the minute. And yeah, so we're quite well signposted, and now I've got the book, the guidebook for the Sandstone Trail. I'm going to do my research and get that one planned. The start point is in Frodsham Centre, where there's a pillar that marks the official start of the trail, and the same at the end. There's an official stone arch, I think. Very busy skies today. So that's on the list after the Burnley Way. I've got loads to do. I'm just waiting for the weather now. We'll get paid this week. Got paid last week. Sort the finances this week. See how much money I've got free. And then I also want to do some courses on navigation. Sharpen the skills a bit. Which I think is going to be a good investment. I'll keep you posted. That's just what I've been thinking this week. So let's carry on. We are currently at the 2.5 mile mark. First break will be at 4 miles. Glad to be facing fields of sheep today. Well, plenty of time for cows to involve themselves. That was quite the cool sign. I haven't seen it like that before. So yeah, as the sign said, it's a footpath only for the NCW or if you're visiting either of the houses. So we're heading towards Arley Park or Lady Park, which is quite a big area. Must be a visitor centre of some kind. Well, we're going to stay on the NCW that goes up and around and then down on its western side. We're 3.4 miles in, so if they could combine it with a bench roundabout now, I feel a brew coming on. Brewing a bicky. Yeah, my feet are very damp. There was some wet grass we trudged through there. Well, the temperature's quite sort of moderate. It's not cold, but it's definitely not warm. But it's not cold either, and it's not warm. Strange. Classic muggy British weather. And apart from one farmer, I've seen nobody today. Aha. Some good brew right there. Not had a brew on the trail for a few weeks because I've been cutting, dieting. Oh yeah, 2 in 1 and a 3 in 1. A little chocolate bar. Delightful. Nice peaceful spot this. Must be nice when the summer's here, when the weather's right. Imagine living here though. Oh. Good. So just a light shower, but it did give me a chance to try the poncho, which definitely is a lot better than a waterproof jacket at the moment, because it lets the air in, stops the condensation forming under the jacket. You do look a bit daft, but it was quick and easy to put on and can also be used as a shelter, so this is my waterproof of choice for the moment. But it was only a shower, it's already starting to die off. I should be able to put it away in a minute. Well, that was just a brief shower, so I've just quickly put the poncho back in its bag, which I keep at the top of my bag so I can get to it quick. And we're heading out of Arley Hall and Gardens, and we're heading down the road all the way to Budworth, little village that has a reservoir. So it's a long slog now. Just keeping my eye on the traffic behind me. Long slog all the way down there, and then we'll head west around the reservoir before making our circle back. Well yeah, it's going to be on and off all day I think. Well, there's some optimistic clouds over there. Look, a bit sunshiny. It might happen, you don't know. We didn't see much of the gardens. I suppose you need to come and park up and pay and do the tour. Got to have a refreshing brew. Now we're just going to plod on to the next mile till we get to 8 miles, and then we'll have a bit of lunch. Here was me thinking it was road walking. Well, it's a road of sorts. I've just stepped off the path because the NCW goes through 2 fields, only small fields, but the back field is densely packed with cows. I will have to get quite close to get past them, and my main issue with cows is the skittish behaviour. Don't know how they're going to behave, very timid. They can react in a large group, and that was a very densely packed large group. It's not so bad if like that. Way over there they're spread out and they've got room to move. But here they had no room to move, so I'm not taking any chances, just for the sake of cutting a corner off into Budworth itself. So we're going to go west, then south down the main road, back road, past the farm, and achieve exactly the same thing. So that's the safer option. You know, I always practice caution on these trails, and unless I absolutely have to, I won't disturb the cows. It's their land, not mine. So that's what we're going to do, and who knows, there may be a brew in Budworth. I'm very doubtful. Beautiful, man. It's where they grow the ice cream. That's where we would have come out, and we're carrying on down there. And if you're doing the NCW, don't miss that. I just showed you a clip of it, the tea room there. You were coming down here, perfect for a stop. Opens at 12. Oh my word, what a town, man. Oh, a village. Great Budworth. Absolutely beautiful. And as I was leaving, there was no shop or anything. Think about that. Lens cap. There was no shop or anything like that. Simply was the village itself and the church. And we went in the church, as you saw. But as I was leaving, I met a gentleman near the public water fountain, and he told me he was a local and how he'd been there 52 years. And as you see with a lot of these places, these little rural villages, towns, he said what started out as a community of people who all knew each other changed and is now people from the south or different parts of the country have moved there because of its quaintness and because of the price of the houses. They're the only people who can afford it. So outsiders, as he called them, came in and the community vanished. They don't see each other, they don't speak to each other, and it's just a little village of individuals. And that's the story you find across the country. And I said that to him, that wherever I've gone, that's been the story, that the community's gone, and the signs that the community's gone are usually that the pub, the shop and the church have gone. So the pub was there, the shop perhaps not, so I'd expect the pub would go next and the church finally at the end of it, as people spend less and less time in anything to do with community. So yeah, a sad story, but that's the changing face of the UK at the minute. While I was in that town, there was a public notice board and the church itself. I managed to leave a few of my cards, my Pilgrim hiker cards, to get people to watch the channel. Yeah, because I'm shameless like that. So you know, if it's your village, you'll get an idea that your little town's going to show up on there. That's about as much self promotion as I do. Well, yeah, now we're getting intermittent sunshine, blue skies. It's got really warm, beautiful. And on the other side of well, we're on Budworth Mere, which is this water behind us, this body of water, is a picnic area, and that's where we're going to have lunch. Seems that we were robbed of a shop, so we'll have a brew and a break. So we've just gone beyond the 8-mile mark now. Absolutely beautiful. Well, there was no escaping it now. And the only reason I'm risking it is because I've just seen a group on a little day hike of older people. They've just come through here, and they're not dead, but they could be dead on the other side of that hill. So I'm just going to take it easy, and these guys have plenty of room to move on. So we've come out of Marberry Park after that delicious lunch. Fantastic if you're doing the NCW to have that little stop if the van's there that day. Sausage, caramel slice, coffee, perfect. So I'm going to snatch a few words just to say we're on the Trent and Mersey Canal. We're going to follow that all the way to Lostock. I think it's Garland or Graylem, and then make a decision about whether I go round to the nature reserve or just jump straight on the A road, which is going to take us all the way back to the car. We've got 8 miles left, so plenty of canal walking. Couldn't miss this chance to walk the canal. So here we are now. So feeling a little bit sluggish after that food, but we should walk it off. A little bit spitty, but so far so good. Really busy in the park, hence why there wasn't much filming. Busy on the canal as well. So we'll see how we get on. Bring you back when I get 5 minutes. Welcome to here on the Trent and Mersey Canal, just after Marston. My route has wiped out the name of this area. These are the works, and obviously the canal runs right through it. But we are carrying on. We're not far from Lostock Garland, where we're going to decide whether or not the canal's very busy today. We're going to decide whether or not to break off and visit this nature reserve with a bit of dog legging in and out of green paths, or stick with the A road. Not decided yet. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed lunch. Got quite warm now. So what time are we on? It's only 12:10. We're doing good for time. We've got 7 miles left. Just crossed into the 6 points. And yeah, I didn't expect much and I wasn't disappointed. Well, so far the trail has surprised me. I'll say more in the debrief. But yeah, well, I basically just cobbled together to cover a large area. Actually turned out to deliver the goods. So I'm really quite happy. But yeah, we just got a lot of miles to do, a lot of plodding. And hopefully the rain will hold off all the way back to the car. Apart from that shower this morning, hasn't done anything since. We get the occasional sunny spell. Yeah, work tomorrow, back to the grind, which I'm not too bothered about. Kind of, maybe I had too much time off, and with the weather not being so good, didn't mean I could get out as much as I wanted to. But, you know, we got a couple of videos done, got some gear sorted, and well, feel like we're moving forward. And as I say, the next target is Burnley Way. We don't need this, do we? No. The next target is going to be the Burnley Way, which is a 3-dayer, and I want to be on with some of these courses. Decided I'm going to start doing more of, sharpen the skills. So yeah, they're the two things, two priorities at the minute. I'm not going to add any more to it than that. We've got plenty of day hikes left to do, plenty of maps on the board, but the Burnley Way really has took too long to do, so I want to get that done. I do like a good canal walk. So here's our turn off and our choice. Either way, we're going that way, but our choice a bit further up is whether we break off for this little extra route or we carry on the A559 all the way back to the car. Oh, don't tempt me, Frodo. So just remember guys, if you're plotting a trail and it involves main road walking, it would be very much worth checking using Google satellites. Drop your little guy down on the road. I'll just pull in here to have this discussion. Drop your little guy in on the road, look through the 3D view, make sure there's somewhere for you to walk, especially like this where I've got quite a few miles to do. What I did was I dropped my guy in, I checked satellite, looked all the way up. Yeah, I could see when I spun round there was pavement on both sides. That side I don't want to be on, I want to be on this side because that's where my junction's going to be when I hit the motorway. I only usually pick roads as a last resort when there's no other way of getting back to the start. Obviously I would prefer to be in woodland or at least something green. But you know, sometimes you just got to finish the trail like that. So we're probably just going to bash out the miles. There won't be much to see now. Back to the car. We're nearly at the point we would have met anyway. We'll have a look when we get there. That's where we would have come out. Holford Farm. Leaves us with about 4 miles left. Two and a half miles left. Just gonna have 5 minutes. Off a can of Monster. Dark thunder. The Knopper Bar. Knopper. Well, now I've had my energy drink and a Knopper bar. There's one more shortcut I want to make. Now, as I go up the main road, I'll hit the motorway junction. I've got a footpath all the way around, but in order to get across the motorway, I have to reverse the route I took this morning. So that's up, across, back down. Now from this side, I might be able to, once I've got boots on the ground, be able to jump the small fence, and it's just a fence to separate the main road from the housing estate. So it's not like I'm trespassing, but if that's doable, that'll slash a full mile off the trail. There's nothing to see by going over the top of that motorway bridge again, so I'm going to see if that's doable, and that's the last shortcut. But for now, we're heading straight back up, about 2.5 miles left technically, 1 if I can slash it. There's nothing left to see except a lot of big clouds behind me, so it's just time to get back to the car. We've had a great day so far. I will debrief, but yeah, there's been some highlights, even though it was just a bit of a throwaway leg stretcher. I'm feeling good already. Monster's in the tank. Let's go. Ho, ho, ho. Yeah, that took some doing. Woohoo! Managed to get through. There we go, we're back at the car. Record time. Thanks to 2 little shortcuts, but we'll just get Gary's stats up here. Bada bing, bada boom. There you go, what have we got there? 17.6 miles. The route itself was 17.7, but we've chopped a lot off. I think without those shortcuts, we'd have been looking at 20 miles. Moving average was quite high, 3.2, because we had some good A road. And May average, again, 2.1. 5 hours of actual moving time. So there you go. Off you pop, Gary. Thanks for that. He only misbehaved once, which was right early on in the beginning, as we set off. I don't know what that was about. So there we go, guys. That was what we call a leg stretcher. I explained at the beginning, and I'll explain once I've just reviewed. There were no expectations for this trail. It really was just a chance to get out before going back to work, but it delivered again. I think our first break at Arley Hall, that was nice. Just before the rain, we were able to get a brew on the boil and a biscuit. Probably would have been nicer with a bit of sunshine, as I always say. North Cheshire Way, which is what we were on, was quite well signposted, well travelled. No issues there. We followed that all the way to Budworth, which lived up to its name, Great Budworth. What a fantastic little village. Nice to be able to go into the church and, you know, have a few moments there. Leave some of the Pilgrim hiker official cards. And yeah, that was probably the highlight. That followed quickly by our little trip into Marberry Park. So the NCW, the Northern Cheshire Way, goes straight through there. That butty van, sausage barm cake, gigantic slice of caramel shortbread, a coffee. Oh, perfect, absolutely perfect, fantastic. So we left that behind and we followed the Trent and Mersey Canal. Nothing to excite us there. It was just generic canal through Marston, through Wincham. It's hard to tell on the map. Wincham. And then we picked up the A559, which eventually became, following the Chester Road, which was an old Roman road, became the A556. We chopped off, and I'll show you here, we chopped off this bottom piece here, where the blue line is, just a small nature reserve, Plumley line beds, which was no great loss. And then as we were coming back, and we reached the motorway roundabout, when I was planning the route, I really did want to be able to cut through back to the car instead of going up, across and back down again, which we were able to do. The gate was open and we could just cut through without trespassing or anything like that. There was no chain on the gate. And yeah, so that was two big bonuses. And as I said earlier, there was no expectation for this trail. All I wanted to keep doing was to keep the legs going, keep the muscles going. If you've ever come across leg soreness when you've done a hike, it's usually because there's long periods between your hikes and your muscles are getting the fibres torn, and then it's called delayed onset muscle soreness, the DOMS. That's the pain is the torn fibres repairing, and they usually repair thicker and stronger. That's how you build muscle. But you can do away with the pain by just regularly walking, and I always say, if you have a dog, perfect. If you can get 2 or 3 miles in a day, that'll prevent you the worst of the soreness. So I like to call these trails leg stretchers, just to keep those legs moving and prevent soreness when the big trails come. So yeah, I think today, nothing I'd write home about, nothing spectacular, but Great Budworth's going to stick in my mind for quite some time. So it should be a short video, relatively. And I hope you've enjoyed it, guys. And I'm going to mosey on home. I've got work tomorrow. Unpack the gear, get it all clean and dry, and ready for the next time when I will see you back on the trail.